Hi, welcome to the Winning the Game of Life series. And today I'd like to talk about one of the chapters, taking calculated risk. Now, when I talk about risk, what comes to your mind? What are the thoughts and emotions? Are they positive or negative? And to most people, they're negative. When you think of risk, they think of, fear, danger, gambling, speculation, losing. But if you think about risk, risk is neutral. Risk simply means uncertainty of outcome. And everything is risk. You cross the road, there's risk, right? You eat a piece of fish, there's risk. You get married, there's risk. There's always risk. And here's a rule in life. The amount of success that you enjoy in life is directly proportional to the level of risk or the level of uncertainty in which you're willing to take. That's the rule in life. So in other words, if you want to achieve a lot of success in business, you must take the uncertainty of starting a business and losing your money and having the business go bankrupt. If you want to enjoy the success of a joyful marriage, you have to take the risk that the marriage may not work, you end in divorce and lose half your house, for example, right? If you want to enjoy the success of winning games, you have to play those games and be willing to have the uncertainty of losing the games. And it's another thing, we say there's always a premium paid for uncertainty in life. People who are willing to take more uncertainty are paid more. That's the rule. For example, if you think about it, why is it that when you put your money in the fixed deposit, you get less than 1%? Well, that's in Singapore, for example, right? But if you put your money into the real estate market or the stock market, you can make anywhere from 10% to 50% to 400%. Why? Because in fixed deposit, there's no uncertainty. It's certain. You will get your money. And that's why it's so low. But the stock market is uncertain. You can make a lot, you could lose it all, right? And that's why there's a premium paid so much for that. Let me give you an example. If someone were to work in a career, for example, selling life insurance, okay? And they're able to sell $500,000 of life insurance for their company. So they bring in $500,000 worth of sales, okay? How much should they get paid? What is their fair wage to do that? It depends, okay? Now, if this person who sells insurance or unit trust, they work in a normal bank, normally they'll be paid about, roughly maybe about $50,000 to $60,000 a year in income. And that's a fair income, right? But if this person were to work for an insurance company, okay, like an AIA or Great Eastern or Prudential or whatever, okay? And these people would probably make about $250,000, okay? $200,000, thereabouts. Why? They are both doing the same job, they are working equally as hard, they're getting the same results. But the person here would make so much more money for a very simple reason, because there's a premium paid for uncertainty. When you join an insurance company, again like Great Eastern or Prudential or AIA, what happens is there's no fixed pay. You can make a lot or make nothing. That's why they're paid so much. But you join a bank, there's a fixed pay. No matter what happens, you don't bring in customers, you get something. And that's why they're paid so low. Premium paid for uncertainty. Now, the majority of people in life never become really rich, really successful, and really live their life to the fullest potential for one very simple reason. Because they fear risk. To them, they associate so much fear to risk because in their mind, they feel that they can't control their outcome. It is out of their control. And they think that the outcome is determined by luck. And because of that, what happens is this, they always go the safe route. They go for the capital guaranteed returns. They go for the fixed deposits. They go for the fixed pay job. And they never maximize their fullest potential. Now, people who change the world, people who are really rich, really successful, who live their lives to the fullest, they take huge calculated risks. Why? It's not because they're not afraid of failure. It's not because they got a lot of guts. It's because rich people and successful people, they believe that their outcome can be controlled by risk management. By managing probabilities, something risky in their mind becomes no risk at all. Okay, now, how does that work? Okay, let me give you an example again. Many examples I can give you, I'm just going to give you one. Now, I work with a lot of people who are self-employed salespeople, whether they're selling houses or insurance and so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you an example of how these people think. Now, if I give you a choice, I said, okay, choice number one, I give you a fixed pay job. No matter what happens, you get your fixed pay every month of $4,000. fixed pay, right? But of course, with every job, there's a chance of being retrenched. When you get old, there's a chance of getting a pay cut, a chance that you may not get promoted, right? Comes with the territory. Now, what if I give you a second choice and I say, okay, here's a sales job where there's no fixed pay, nothing. You don't sell, you don't get anything at all. But every sale you make, you earn a commission of $1,200. Okay, and of course, as a self-employed person, you can't get retrenched. You can't get a pay cut because it is completely up to you. Now, which one is more risky? The majority of people say, wow, this is more risky. Why? I could get nothing. If I got bad luck, I'll starve. Okay? And they say, this is less risky. This is certain. Now, here's the interesting thing. People who are the top entrepreneurs, who are the top self-employed salespeople who are millionaires, you know what they say? They say, this is risky, scary. You know why? I only got 4,000, it can't go up. I can get retrenched, I can lose everything. But this is safer. Now, how do they feel that this is safer when, that there's no fix? Here's how they think. They think in terms of probabilities and they manage their risk to control their outcome. For example, here's how they think. They think, okay, what's my goal? They always have a goal in mind. If they say, my goal is to earn, let's say, 10,000 a month in income, right? So they say, okay, so that is $120,000 a year in income. So that's their goal. So they figure if every sale they make is 1,200, how many sales must they make to hit that total income target? Well, the answer is what? 100 sales or 100 clients. So they know, okay, to earn that income, I have to get 100 customers. Now, how do they get customers? Now, in any sales job, you meet with people and you present them your product, you do a presentation and they buy from you, right? Now, out of 10 people you meet and you present to, not everyone will buy, okay? Maybe 2 will buy, maybe 3 will buy. It depends on your level of skill. Now, we call that your closing rate. The more skillful you are, the higher your closing rate. So as an entrepreneur, we calculate what's our closing rate right now. So say right now when you start, their closing rate is 25%. Out of 4, 1 will buy, 3 will not buy. It's called the law of averages, which means to get 100 clients, how many people must they present to? 400, right? They must make 400 presentations, or they must have 400 what we call appointments to meet people, assuming that 1 in 4 will buy, right? Now, 400 appointments, is that a lot? Yep, okay. But this is 1 year, right? So if you divide it by 312 days, assuming you don't work on Sunday, okay, that will equal to roughly about 1.3 appointments per day, which means they know on average if every day they see 1.3 of a person. Now, how do you do that? Okay, that's an average rate. So say Monday they see 1, Tuesday they see 1, Wednesday they see 2. But on average they're seeing 1 to 2 a day. They know that if they do that consistently, they'll get that kind of outcome. Now the question is, how do they get these appointments? How do they get these people to come and see them in the first place? Well, that's where they go out there and they do cold calling. They go and meet people, they do networking, they give out their name cards, right? And again, there's also a probability. Like they may calculate out of 10 people I call and say, hi, my name is Adam, my name is Mary, I'd like to meet you with an appointment to talk about this car, talk about this home loan, will you meet me? And they know that out of 10, not all will say yes. Again, there's always an average. Say out of 10, 1 will say yes. 9 will slam the phone and say, get lost, right? So if 1 out of 10 will say yes, how many calls must they make to get 400 appointments? 4,000 times 10, right? They must make 4,000 cold calls or meet 4,000 people or strangers. How much is that? Well, divide by 312, that works out to be roughly about 13 calls a day. So now they know, okay, if every day I make 13 calls, and every day I see 1 to 2 people consistently working consistently a year, then will they make that $10,000 a month? Well, the answer is there's no guarantee. They may or may not make that $10,000 a month. But even if they don't, will they get somewhere around there? Yeah, because it's the law of probability and the law of averages. They've worked out the odds. So if they don't make 10,000, they may make, for example, maybe 9,000 or 8,000 or 7,000, whatever. But isn't that still better than the 4,000? Now, let's assume for some reason they're really bad or they're really unlucky at their job initially. And out of 10 people, no one says yes. They got to call 20 for one to say yes. Instead of 4 and 1 buying out of 4, they got to see 8 and 1 buys. So as a result, instead of making 10,000, they make half. They make only 5,000, for example. But if they really wanted to make 10,000, what would they do? They'll just do double of everyone else, right? Instead of making 13 calls, they make 26 calls, they make 36 calls. Instead of seeing 1 to 2 people a day, they see 5 a day. So in other words, their result is in their hands. They know that they can earn whatever income they want as long as they know their probabilities, they're willing to manage it. And this same rule applies for investments as well, okay? For example, people say to me, Adam, you're a risk taker. You invest in all these stocks, for example, real estate. Do all of them make money? Of course not. I can tell you on average, not all of them will make money. But because I know how to choose the right stocks based on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, I know on average, out of 10 stocks I buy, 7 will make money. 3 will lose money, but I don't care, all right? Because as long as the 3 that loses money, I cut my losses, I manage my risk, and the 7 that makes me money, that makes me my millions. And that's how risk is perceived. So I hope you understand that you want to be successful, take huge calculated risks. Okay, and when you can manage your risk, the risk becomes risk-free in your mind. Thank you for listening.